Hey everyone, welcome to my week 30 pregnancy vlog. So I'm 30 weeks pregnant, 10 weeks left, which is so exciting. 30 weeks, I'm like finally on the home stretch. I think I say that every time, but now I really feel like it. So as you can tell by the title, like I had the worst doctor's appointment ever last week. So my doctor was out of town or off or whatever, so they asked me if I would meet with the PA, I think is what they're called. So she's like above a nurse but underneath a doctor. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, because now I'm seeing my doctor every 2 weeks, so I figured it wouldn't be a problem. So I went in to see her. And first thing she says is asks me what I had for breakfast because there was sugar in my urine. And I said Cheerios, and she's like, well, you need to watch your sugar intake, which I feel like is totally, I mean, I had Cheerios for breakfast. It's not like I had donuts. So I was already like kind of ticked off by that. And I had just taken my glucose test before that. So then she showed me the results, which I scored a 109, and she said that that was good, but I didn't know necessarily what that meant. So when I went home, I Googled it, and a 140 is what would make you, I guess, positive for the gestational diabetes. So I was way off. So I just felt like that was just rude of her to say that I need to watch my sugar intake and like unnecessary. So the next thing, I told her that I thought I might have a yeast infection. So she's like, okay, well, let's check and see. And I didn't know, how she would, I thought maybe they could already just tell from like my urine sample or whatever. So she had me get up on the exam table, put my legs in the thing, and she did basically a pap smear where they stick that big tool up inside and then stick like some other tools. And I was like, this hurts really bad. And she's like, yeah, you're just tender. And it hurt so bad. So then afterwards she took everything out. And when she first did it, she goes, yeah, it looks like you have a yeast infection. And I'm like, okay. Then she still stuck everything up there. So then she leaves. She's like, get dressed, and she leaves the room. So I stood up to get dressed, and blood was just like running down my legs onto the floor. So I started freaking out and panicking, like that I didn't know what to do. I couldn't put my clothes back on, obviously. Normally they leave like a little panty liner or something for you if you're gonna have a pap smear. So I couldn't even put my clothes back on. So she came back in, and I told her, and she's like, yeah, that's kind of normal to have a little bit of bleeding. And I was like, no, this is a lot of bleeding. Like it ran down my legs. And she was like, oh, well, let me check and see. So then she put me back on the exam table and stuck the stupid thing back up. And I was like, this really hurts. And so she took it out again. She went and talked to the doctor that was on call, and he was like, she needs to do an ultrasound right away. So then I was really freaking out because, my husband wasn't with me. It was just supposed to be a normal checkup, and now I'm bleeding. I have to do an emergency ultrasound. Oh, and then they said, make sure she doesn't go back to work or anything for the rest of the day. She needs to be put on bed rest. So it was terrible. I was panicking so bad. She said, yes, I do have a yeast infection. And unfortunately, she can't prescribe anything for it because what they prescribe is something that sticks up inside of you, and that you can't have that if you've had bleeding. So, which isn't true, because I'm pretty sure you can also be prescribed an oral treatment or a topical treatment. It doesn't have to necessarily be an inserted treatment. So, didn't prescribe me any treatment. And then I also showed her a rash that I had on my stomach, which is called PUPS. And I had already done research prior to the appointment, and I kind of knew that that's what it was. So she just kind of said, yep, that's what it is. There's no treatment. There's nothing you can do. So I just felt like she wasn't helpful at all. She made me bleed. She even asked me afterwards, like, oh, do you bleed from sex or do you bleed from working out? And I'm like, nope, I haven't bled my entire pregnancy until you stuck that thing up me. So I was just so mad. It was awful. I will never see her again. I did get my ultrasound, and the ultrasound girl was just super sweet. She's the same girl I've had every time for my ultrasounds, and she's just really gentle, and she's really super kind. She was showing me, you know, everything on there, and then she switched it to 3D, and it was so cute. It made me tear up because you could, this time, I think last time it was 20 weeks when I had my ultrasound. So now at 30 weeks, you could really see his features, and it was so cute. And she confirmed that everything was okay. So I'm not really sure what happened. The nurse actually never even said what was wrong. I'm assuming she just inserted it incorrectly. Another theory that I have, like I haven't been able to speak with my doctor yet, but I've told a few of my friends, and they said that doctors shouldn't be putting that up, using a tool like that when you're this far along in your pregnancy. They should be using like a cotton swab or just like their fingers to test for a yeast infection, and not be like doing that whole process, because it could damage, you know, your baby or whatever's going on in there, which I think is exactly what happened. I think she must have like just hit something wrong. So it just was awful. And then I had to, you know, be on bed rest for the rest of the day, which was no big deal. But then I didn't work out the rest of the week. I didn't like do any lifting or any sort of, I just came home every day from work and just went to sleep basically, because I didn't want to cause any more bleeding. So it was terrible, but everything's fine. So I'm really, really happy about that. And I'll move on to my other symptoms that I've been having this week. So this weekend we were out in the sun a lot. We went to the pool. We also went on like a 5-mile hike. So, excuse me, being out in the sun, like, I don't know if I was out there all day, and I got really, really nauseous towards the end of the day. That's when my rash first like really started to bother me. And I think the rash it's like affected by the heat, so it can be more extreme in the heat. So that, and then the sun exposure, and then the nausea, I was just like total meltdown that night. My pelvic bones are still killing me. So everything on top of each other, I just like couldn't take it. I was like crying. I'm like, I can't do this. This is so hard. So there's days where it just totally sucks. But my rash did subside. So after a few days, it's pretty much completely gone right now, but I think it's just gonna kind of fluctuate depending if I'm out in the heat, if I'm out in the sun, because I read that it stays with you the rest of your pregnancy until after you give birth. So I used, what did I use? Aveeno? Not Aveeno, aloe. It was an aloe like cooling gel lotion. I used that on my tummy, and it helped a little bit with the itching, but I think it really helped kind of get rid of the rash. So if you have pups, I feel really bad for you because it sucks, but you should try to use some sort of aloe vera gel or lotion to kind of help relieve the redness and the itchiness. Another thing I noticed, it's kind of weird and gross, but I think some colostrum has started to come in. So that's also kind of exciting. It means I'm getting closer to giving birth and being able to start breastfeeding. I've been getting really nauseous at night, especially I get nauseous before I fall asleep and then in the middle of the night. And what I think it is that I'm a hardcore back sleeper. Like I always slept on my back. So this is the first time that I can't sleep on my back. And I think that I end up turning over and like sleeping on my back for a little bit, and then I wake up feeling really sick, because I know it limits like fluid to the baby, and then it also can make you nauseous. So I told my husband, I'm like, you need to let me know if I'm on my back sleeping, because it's awful. it wakes me up and I have to like sit up for a while and like walk around and wait till the nausea passes. And then another thing going in with that is insomnia. It's just really hard to sleep. Like, I just keep waking up. I wake up due to nausea, then I wake up because I'm in pain in my pelvis. Then I wake up to go to the bathroom, and getting up is a huge challenge now. It's not just like rolling over and getting out of bed. It's like scooting, rolling, scooting, and it's so hard to get up out of bed. So by the time I finally get up and go to the bathroom, you know, it takes like 10 minutes. It's so hard and painful. And then same thing with getting up off like the couch or like anything that's like down low. It's just hard. Like, I need someone in front of me to like lift me up. So that's been frustrating, but I did get a maternity band. A lot of people recommended this, and I think it's gonna help. So I started wearing it yesterday just around the house. It just looks like this, and it goes on your lower abdomen, and then it just Velcros in the back. I got it on Amazon. I didn't wear it out today because you could see it under my clothes, so I feel like that's kind of weird, but I'm definitely gonna wear it around the house. And if I'm wearing like something really loose, I'll wear it out. But it's supposed to help with lower back pain and then like just keeping your stomach supported. Because I know a lot of times when I get up from the couch, I like have to carry my belly. Like, I put my hands under my stomach and kind of lift it. Otherwise it just weighs you down. So that's a great thing if you're feeling back pain or just like weighed down. And it's just so hard to get up from any position right now. I don't know how I'm gonna go 10 more weeks and get bigger and bigger. I'm just gonna be non-functioning is what's gonna happen. And then last thing, I guess symptom-wise, is body image is just, I'm always dramatic on here, I think, about my body image. But it is hard. Like, you just don't feel like hot and sexy. Like, you want to go back to your old body. So that's still been a struggle with me. Like, I don't know. I just want to be like little and skinny again. And then a few other things that happened at the doctor's appointment. So I got my GDAP vaccination, which is just for, I think it's just for whooping cough, like to prevent it. And then also they said that the baby's heart rate was, I want to say like 160, and they said he's a really active baby, which I already knew. I'm going to start putting some videos of him like moving like crazy on my Instagram, so you should check that out because he moves like crazy all the time. And then another thing they said is that his head is down, so that's good because he's ready to go. As far as weight gain, I gained 2 pounds this week, so I am now at a total weight gain of 25 pounds at 30 weeks. And I will show you my belly now. So here's what it looks like from the front and the side. I feel like it's still like fairly small. Everyone is saying that I'm waddling and that I'm huge. Someone at work asked me how the twins were doing. I'm just kind of getting over those comments, like whatever, it is what it is. I think that I'm a perfect size for my baby, and this is how big he is. And I don't care what anyone else says. So yeah, my line has actually gotten even more, like it's extending up above my belly button now. All right, well, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.